Welcome everybody to episode 6 of the Paper and Plastic Show. This is the show that we try to dispel all the rumors that this is a bad thing, that we shouldn't have any plastic products, we shouldn't have paper products. What are you gonna use if you're not gonna use paper and plastic? You know, it's always crazy. People say get rid of plastic, get rid of plastic. You know what? Everything goes away if you get rid of plastic. What about your MacBook keyboard? What about your cameras? What about half of your car? What about literally every single thing in this room is pretty much made out of plastic? It's wild. Your plastic bottles, yeah, sure, those are bad. But what about everything else around you that you're using? And come on, guys, it's not that bad. Plastic is not the devil. Neither is paper. It's about single use. Single use is the problem. We're using materials only once and disposing of them. Why not try to find new creative ways to use paper and plastic multiple times? This is the Ocean Ridge studio, so I gotta give a shout out to Ocean Ridge. What we try to do is find creative ways to make one man's trash into another man's treasure. Even paper gets a bad rep sometimes. People are like, oh, we're wasting paper, we're killing the trees, we shouldn't use paper, we should go only digital because the trees are gonna go away. And you know the funniest thing also is, you know, like global warming and people say save the earth? No, it's not save the earth, it's save the humans, by the way, because the earth will do just fine. Temperatures goes up, guess what? It gets rid of all the humans and the earth will recover. Just as a side note. But the point stands that paper is very much a renewable source. And one thing, actually a very big misconception, is that when we harvest paper and harvest trees, that means there's just acres and acres and acres of forest that just dies. Yes, they get cut, but that does not mean that humans are so irresponsible that we just let that be and that's it. And we go on to the next trees. So there's something called the FSC. And the FSC stands for the Forest Stewardship Council. And what the FSC does, they have this little cool logo. Jonathan, if you need to put that logo up on the screen, you'll see this logo on your Amazon boxes. You'll see this logo on any of your sort of craft packaging, and pretty much almost all corrugated craft containers or craft boxes. You'll see the FSC logo, especially for these large companies like WestRock and other large mills. What the FSC's sort of logo stamp stands for, and if you see that, it's a good thing, is that this paper, where it was harvested, the forests are being responsibly managed, which means that for every tree that is cut, a multiple of new trees are planted. And what they do is, if they cut one tree, so they plant 2 more, 3 more in its place. Now they won't harvest that area until those trees are obviously grown, and they go to the next area. So it's almost like farming. It's not like you just kill it and you die. There's only so much land in the world, there's only so much trees in the world. So we actually farm trees. People don't know that. People think, well, the tree is cut, it's gone forever. No, we can farm trees and we can find ways to make that forest come back. Guess what? We can plant them. FSC, very important. If you see that logo on your packaging, you should feel good, you should feel content that this paper is coming from a renewable source. And then it's not just done there. Once a tree is harvested, if it's properly recycled and put back in the loop, that means that paper can be used multiple times, almost 3, 4, 5, 6 times before that paper is no longer able to be used. And even still, you can convert that into biofuel and use ways to reuse that energy. So that's super cool and something that people don't always know about. Now, this is a fact that not a lot of Americans know about, and I want to talk to about you guys, talking about recycling, leading right into why it's so important to recycle and not just get so stuck into using single-use material. So what they say is that the average American uses nearly 6 trees worth of paper every single year. That's 6 trees. Every single year you use 6 trees. That's not a bad thing. It's not supposed to be like a shock and that's a bad thing. Stop, save the trees. Those trees are already being replanted. Maybe for the 6 trees you used, companies have planted maybe 15 trees in its place. It's not a bad thing. But now when it comes to your responsibility, when it comes to recycling, if you were to get that paper, instead of you eat some paper or you have some office paper, don't throw it in the landfill. Don't throw it in your trash bin. Put it back in the blue box. Put it in the recycling process, because recycling 1 ton, so about 2,000 pounds of paper, can save 17 trees, 2 barrels of oil, and it can save 250 pounds of carbon dioxide being out in the air every single year. So that means if you can recycle your paper, we don't have to cut down those trees because that's cheaper material. The mills, that recycled pulp, it's cheaper to buy, and therefore it's cheaper to sell, and it's more economical. And not just that, we save on trees, we save on paper, we save on energy. Super important, recycle your paper. Single use, not good. Alright, let's get into our video react segment. So this is a video from Tech F2. The title is called Recycled Paper Insulation. Oh, fancy. So let's see, what is this guy going to do? Let's play it. Oh, I have never seen that. I have never seen that. So they get paper, they grind it on. Wow. The point stands that there's so many creative ways to use paper and plastic that sometimes we only think it can only be used for one thing. But humans are amazing, as always. Humans are ingenious. Tech F2, amazing. Great job. Humans have so many creative, ingenious ways to use our resources that we can't get so caught up in that, this is so bad. Everything came from the earth, and everything will go back into the earth. Every mineral came from the earth, every mineral will go back in the earth. We are all just stardust. All of us, every human, at some point was just stardust. You were just made from dust, and everything around you is also made from dust. I think when it comes to recycling, the moment you can stop thinking about this is bad, we have to stop using plastic, and this plastic, snap it, break it. We don't want. Sorry guys, there goes the report. But inherently, it's not a bad thing because this plastic, and I did use it already. Don't worry. This fork, you put it back in the blue bin, they'll melt it down, and they'll make new plastic out of it. And that's how we gotta think about our resources. That's how we gotta think about the world. Stop single use, and let's keep things popping. That's a wrap.